What's up, everybody? It's your girl Rosie Wisdom, and I'm back to continue where I left off at, talking about how we just got put out and woke up in this shelter to a big bag of gifts. Now, what was inside this bag was clothes, toys, and necessities. And not only was my kids ecstatic, I was shocked because I literally, in real time, just watched and witnessed Christ provide and give me and my children everything we needed. I didn't even need to go back to that house to do anything. Jesus already had it waiting for me. Jesus already had it waiting for me when I got to the shelter. So, with that being said, we enjoyed our morning, and I indulged in a cup of coffee and a good breather and a peace of mind, because I didn't have to be stressed out on this or that or this or that. Immediately, it was already given. But what I started to do was, when, mind you, this house was empty when I got there, so it was one other lady there, but she didn't have no kids, and she didn't have no kids. So I found myself, when a new lady came through the door, I would meet her and I would say, "Hello, my name is Rose. I'm a messenger of the Lord, and if it's a message that He has for you, I will be delivering it to you. And I want to let you know that you're here for a reason and to not be afraid." That wasn't scripted. I don't even know where that came from. And in that very moment, I realized I just went from a servant to a messenger. Christ had me telling people that stuff. These women. I didn't know I was going to be a messenger. But I said it so many times to the different women, I was like, I just became a messenger of the Lord. And that's how that came about. So to every woman, I was saying that exact thing and telling them they was here for a reason and to not be afraid. Because, when us women, when we've been in these shelters, this can be a scary situation. But in this spacious house, it was quite an experience. So, I would give the women hugs. And a lot of times, they cried. They was crying. And they said, okay. And they were going about their day. And I will continue on with my day. And what was amazing about entering this shelter was that before I entered this shelter, I was a smoker. I smoked cigarettes. And out of nowhere, I didn't have a taste for cigarettes. I didn't buy cigarettes. I didn't smoke cigarettes. Not even at work. I used to stay taking a smoke break for 15 minutes. At work, I wasn't smoking. In this house, I wasn't. Around this house, I wasn't smoking. Smoking wasn't allowed. But around this, outside, I wasn't smoking. I also realized something else amazing that happened in this house while being in the shelter. Christ sanctified me for this mission. He sanctified me to become a messenger and deliver these messages to these women. I was not smoking, but I can indeed tell you, when it was all over and done, I did go back to smoking, and that's how I realized I was sanctified for a moment and for a purpose. But coming back to the story, so yes, I was telling women, if I had a message for you, I'll be delivering it to you, and that's how it was. And that was only the beginning. I was there for a month. And there was many messages and many revelations and many gifts. Like, Christ would have me. Sometimes I'd be up at 12 o'clock making stuff for people or writing messages to deliver them. If I wasn't writing the message, I was speaking the message. And if I wasn't speaking the message, I was buying gifts. If I wasn't buying gifts, I was doing something else. Just sharing with people other things that the Lord wanted them to know. So a lot went down in them shelters. And it got to a point to where let's just put it like this. I had a 12-list spiritual growth paper that I put on my door. And when I came from work one day, it was ripped and set on my dresser. And the lady who did it actually came storming up the stairs. You gotta come down to the office. And I was like, okay, do you know what happened to this paper right here? And she was like, you can't have nothing like that up here. That's go against our rules and regulations. And everybody up in here don't believe in God. And I was like, okay, but did it have to be ripped? And she was like, I apologize for that. I didn't have to rip it, but I did rip it and I snatched it off. Yes, I apologize for that. I was like, okay. So we go down to the office, and what they're telling me is I can't deliver messages to people. And I'm like, who should I feel when God is with me? So they look at each other, then they look at me. And then the one who snatched the paper off the desk, she said, okay, look. Now, we all believe in God up in here. She's talking about the people, the little ladies who was in the office, who ran the places or whatever. She's like, we all believe in God up in here. We see you glowing. We see your light. But ain't nobody up in here doing all of that. And I just stood there smiling. And then another lady was like, Rose, I want you to step out. So when I stepped out, I was sitting there waiting. And then I was like, Jesus, is they gonna put me out? And he was like, yes. And I was like, he was like, yes, but I'll tell you when. That's what he said. He said, yes, but I'll tell you when. So this lady come out, and she say, Rose, I'm going to be your advocate. And I didn't even know what an advocate was at that moment, but she said, I'm going to be your advocate. And she was like, they wanted to put you out, but I just want you to take it down a notch. And for the time being, you will be here. So just don't deliver no messages. And I was like, I just smiled. I was like, all right, thank you. And she was like, if you need anything, come to me, and I'll assist you. And I was like, okay. So I went on about my day, and she went on about her day. And in this very moment, I realized how not only I just left from being a servant to a messenger, but a messenger with an advocate. Y'all can look up the word advocate if you don't know what that is. But it was pretty dope how he protected me against all the other women that wanted me to get out. God is always going to find a light in a room full of dark and use them. Stay tuned for the next one.